All right. Good morning, guys. I just wanted to make the final nail in the coffin for this little saga because yeah, I'm done with it, okay? So, um the what should we call him? This isn't disrespect to him, but we'll call him the I'll say megumi agenda pusher. No, actually no, I think the total hater. He's the total hater, bro, because of like what he was saying about Todo being surpassed. Actually, I should put that in here as well. All right, we'll talk about these in order. Um Actually, I'm gonna just bring up the comment so I can like explain it in better detail. Yeah, so basically at this point after like my video, he makes this comment. We is this Oh, it's wait a second. Is it in the replies? Oh, it is in the replies. I'm tweaking. Okay. So he was saying that okay. this fried me, bro. He said that I didn't prove that Megumi didn't get faster. Why would I have to prove that he didn't get faster? Like, whatever, right? I said that, like, yeah. So I said that you didn't prove Megami got faster or better with CE after getting domain, which is true. Like, there isn't any statements, no implications. And his response to that is that the proof that he got better with CE and all that is because of the Awasaka fight, which we'll get into in a second, right? But after all this, right, he finally agrees that yes, okay, Yuji is faster than Maki because of the thing that I said, right? And Megumi is about equal to Maki in Goodwill. Okay, good. All right, so I've gotten him to agree with the most obvious thing of all time, right? That he was disagreeing with before, right? That Yuji is faster than Maki, and that Megumi is in quotations equal to Maki, but no, Maki is still faster than Megumi in Goodwill. Okay, Maki is the benchmark, and he says after getting his domain, he got faster in Shibuya. Simple, right? Okay. What did I say? Yeah, I said he's not proving anything still, right? Basically, we're just going through everything, okay? He says that the reason why Megumi got faster after getting his domain, and the proof of that is that he has better reaction feats than Yuji during their fight with Awasaka, right? And so let's actually read the story. Let's actually read the fight without agenda and actually like consuming what Gege's trying to go with, right? So Awasaka's fighting style. Before we even go to it, what was Awasaka's fighting style, bro? If you remember the fight, what was his fighting style? He says it like no, he says it once. He either says it once or twice, but he shows it like 3 times. What was his fighting style, guys? His fighting style was he allows you to hit him, he takes 0 damage, and then he counters. That's his fighting style, right? And we've seen this actually with another character. Who's that? Hakari. I've explained this before. Hakari does the exact same thing, where he will take an attack from you, he knows he's gonna heal, you don't know he's gonna heal, and then he counters, and then you're not gonna expect it, right? I'm gonna put it on the screen actually to prove my point. We can go to like, bro, it happens against all 3 of the people that he goes against, right? We have, boom, he allows Charles to hit him after saying, yo, you can't hit me. Where is it? You can't hit me. He allows Charles to hit him. Charles isn't expecting anything, and he gets 1 shot. Countered, boom, right? Same thing happens against Kashimo. He allows himself to get hit, bow, right? Same thing happens again in the same chapter. He gets hit with the lightning, bow. He gets hit with the lightning, right? And then Kashimo's like, okay, now he can't do anything about it, bow. Hits him in the face, right? Counter attacked after that. Exactly what I'm saying, right? And Awasaka does the exact same thing. both Megumi and Yuji are hitting Awasaka, and he counters, and they're not expecting it because it's like he took 0 freaking damage to that, right? And they're like, he's like, why is he not hurt? Right? We'll get into actually no, I should go get into it right now. Guys, do you guys see this? Basically what I'm trying to explain here is that people are saying that Awasaka was attacking both Megumi and Yuji, but you can only you can literally see the trajectory of his slash right here. And not only that, you can see the dodge mark for Yuji. There is no dodge mark for Megumi, bro. Megumi didn't dodge anything because the attack wasn't aimed at him. I don't know who came up with this lie. Awasaka was not attacking both of them. He never does that. He literally never does that. And I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, this was an attack meant for Yuji, so this isn't a Megumi feat. Again, we only see one dodge marker, and it's for Yuji, who's dodging away from the attack that's aimed at him. And it's shown in the anime that is literally only aimed at him. You don't even need the anime. You literally see the trajectory right here. It's literally only aimed at Yuji. Let's stop that, okay? So that's not a Megumi feat right there. But the reason why I had to establish the fighting style of Awasaka is to show that his thing, like, I mean, I just showed you guys it happening twice to Kashimo, right? It's not really a battle IQ. No, it kind of is a battle IQ diff, right? Basically what I'm trying to say is that these guys, they don't adapt to his fighting style until they find out what his curse unique is, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, they're going to continue hitting him, and then he's going to do no damage. We literally see proof of that, right? In the next chapter. In the next chapter, when we come back, they continue saying, like, oh my gosh, like, we've been hitting him so many times, and he's just not... Look, seriously, what's up with this guy? He's more tough, you know what I'm saying? They continue fighting him. So that means off screen they've been fighting him. We know that because, you know, Megumi has some damage. And they've been doing this, and the only time they actually go against his fighting style is when they find out his curse technique. But we'll get in there in a second, right? Here's what I have to... Again, his entire point is that Megumi has better reactions than Yuji during the fight, right? Like I said, when you get countered like that... Actually, bro, it's crazy. I don't have to explain this because Awasaka literally says it. He says it, bro. He says it directly, which is like it. He says, no one has ever been able to dodge my counter attack after a desperate attack. They've literally been fighting him this entire time. We saw him counter against Yuji. Yuji wasn't able to completely dodge it. And look at this. We come back. This is, again, after the fact, but after, like, they've been fighting off screen. But look, Yuji hits him. You can see the hit marker right here, and then a counter. Once again, it's a counter. It's not like, oh yeah, Awasaka was just there and he attacked Yuji directly. No, it was a counter. You can see it right there. It was a counter, and then Yuji gets hit. But now, Megumi reacts because Awasaka is on the offensive again. Awasaka is on the offensive, and Megumi reacts because he was already on the offensive. Now, here's the thing, right? Not really, here's the thing. I'm going to prove to you that this is the case, right? First of all, again, he has the damage on his face. But also, once we enter this part, guess what happens? This is actually a reaction feat, right? Where Megumi goes in for an attack, Awasaka blocks it, and he goes for his own attack, and then Megumi actually dodges it. This is a reaction feat, and the reason why that is because Awasaka says, ooh, he's revving up. Why would he say that he's revving up if this was something that Megumi was doing consistently before that? It's because he wasn't. He wasn't doing that before. And we know that because he has freaking damage on his face. He literally has damage on his face. The reason why he says that Megumi is revving up, hold on. The reason why he says that Megumi is revving up after seeing him literally do a reaction feat is because that's the first time he does it, and the only reason why he does it is because he found out his entire gimmick. He found it out. That's it. Right? There's also the fact that like, whoa. There's also the fact that like in both situations, wait, do I have this open? There's also the fact that in both of the times that like Yuji gets hit, Awasaka is facing him, right? So there's even less of a chance for Yuji to, in quotations, react, right? He's literally facing him. It's not like he has his back towards him and then he turns around and then attacks him, right? As opposed to this, where he is literally turned around. He's attacking him from behind, and then he has the ability to react because Awasaka is turning around, and he's already on the offensive, right? He's expecting an attack because he saw it happen to Yuji, right? At this point, they're like, okay, that's his entire gimmick. They can see it because let's just like bare minimum, this kind of gimmick happens 3 times, right? Once right here, once off screen where Megumi gets hit, and then a 3rd time right here, right? And that's where they're like, okay, now we're seeing, Megumi's like, okay, he has something to do with his curse technique that's allowing him to take 0 damage, right? So yeah, yeah, it's just not proof of literally anything, right? Megumi does not have better reactions than Yuji, because we know he got hit by the exact same thing Yuji got hit by, his entire fighting style, what he explains to us, and he isn't able to actually like react regularly because he says, oh yeah, he's revving up now because he's actually able to react, right? Right? I think I've explained that correctly, or maybe I have to explain it one more time in like layman's terms. Awasaka says that Megumi is revving up after seeing him react to his attack and actually dodge it, because this is the first time that Megumi does anything like this, okay? Anything before this is not Megumi reacting to him in like conventional sense. It's rather him adapting to his attack style, right? Right now, this is actually a reaction. This is a reaction feat where Awasaka, he goes in for an attack after he attacks, and then boom. That is a reaction feat right there. And he's like, okay, now he's revving up, right? Before that, he gets hit, first of all, right? Like, Megumi does get hit off screen. But also, again, like, Megumi attacks, Megumi reacts to an attack after he sees that Awasaka is on the offensive, right? And after the entire, like, the fighting style where he takes no damage and then counters is exposed, right? So that's Awasaka's fighting style. So yeah, he doesn't have better reactions to him. Like, he doesn't. And yeah, all right. I think I've explained that decently enough. And the reason why I had to go into that is because that was literally him and the Todo hater and like I'm pretty sure like one other guy. Their only proof of Megumi getting faster after getting his domain is the Awasaka stuff, right? And that's just not true because again, he doesn't have better reactions than Yuji. We know that he got hit off screen. And also, he only reacts to it. He only gets like an acknowledgement of him actually being able to react to it after he figures out his fighting style, right? So yeah, right? That's done. That's done, right? 2, Megumi didn't get faster. So again, like I said, their proof was the Awasaka thing, but also there was this assumption that his output and his CE manipulation got better after domain expansion. Show me proof. There is no statements, no nothing about that. Literally zero implications, zero anything, right? And actually, what I can show you guys is something that goes into the thing I mentioned in the previous video, where I said that for Megumi and Yuji to be relative in any case, it means that Yuji has to have higher physicals than Megumi, right? Which isn't far-fetched. Again, if you ask literally anyone else in this fandom who has higher physicals, Yuji or Megumi, they would say Yuji, because that's his entire gimmick, right? And so during the fight with the Finger Bearer, there's something interesting that I noticed, right? The Finger Bearer, I've already established multiple times that the Finger Bearer is superior to Megumi in every physical aspect, bro. He's faster than him, he's stronger than him, whatever. How does Megumi get through this? Right? How is he actually able to beat this guy who is faster than him? Does Megumi actually contend with him? Does he start boxing with him? If he did do that, if Megumi if Megumi was able to do that, then I would concede. I would be like, oh yeah, he got blitzed with him right here. He got blitzed by him right here, and then after his domain expansion, he starts boxing with the Finger Bearer. Yeah, I would concede. I would be like, yeah, he got faster. But he never does that. What he actually does is start distracting him. And this is consistent in the story as well. Like, just like I explained with like the catching someone off guard after taking no damage thing. I can show you another example of basically getting through someone who's faster than you, not through being faster, but by distracting them or using some other form, which is like not some other form, but like using something to like distract them or like just get through their speed in an unconventional way. An example of that is Naoya versus Choso. How does Choso beat Naoya? Right? Naoya is still faster than him even after flowing red skill stack. He's still faster than him, right? And so Choso does what? He makes a whole bunch of blood, and Naoya states it right here. He's like, he forced me away and I lost sight of him because of the massive amount of blood. He doesn't beat him by being faster than him. He beats him by trying to catch him off guard multiple times. No, he does catch him off guard. This is 1, right? Catches him off guard. 2, tries to catch him off guard. 3, catches him off guard with Supernova. It's not like he didn't get faster. He didn't contend with Naoya in speed. He used other means to get around his speed. Same thing happens with Megumi. Megumi got blitzed by the Finger Bearer, bro. How does he fight against him after getting the domain? Distraction. Boom. Look at this. Distraction. Boom. Distraction. Sneak. Bro, what are we talking about right now, bro? So, not only do we have no proof that Megumi got better in output or anything like that, right? No proof. Zero proof. There's no implication of that. But also, we literally see that he doesn't get through the Finger Bearer by having better physicals, but by doing something other than that. He doesn't improve in physicals in any shape or form. There's no proof of that. We have proof otherwise. We have proof that he doesn't improve in physicals, but he gets through it using his domain expansion. That's the entire point. It's like Gege tried to show you that, yeah, he's fighting against a physical fighter right here who is just completely faster than him, and the way to get through him is to have a whole bunch of means to distract them and catch them off guard. Right? That's Megumi's entire fighting style, bro. He doesn't fight someone up front. That's why he had to sneak Reggie. He wasn't about to beat Reggie in a freaking hand-to-hand combat situation. He wasn't. He had to sneak him. Because Megumi's fighting style isn't about physicals, bro. It's not. Alright? So, my challenge for you is to show me a statement that Megumi got faster. There is no statement. There is no implication either. The Awasaka stuff isn't an implication because, again, it was just a whole bunch of fighting style shenanigans. All right? And the only time he's at, again, I'll continue showing you this. This is the only time he actually reacts to him, and it's after he figures out his gimmick. All right? So nothing before that is an actual reaction feat, because if it was, he wouldn't be revving himself up after seeing an actual reaction feat. All right? So that's done. There's no implication of him getting faster, right? And then on top of that, there's an implication of him getting through the physical barriers he has by getting a domain expansion, which makes sense because Yuji surpassed him in Goodwill. He goes to train with Gojo, and he gets to be relative with Yuji again by using domain expansion, not by being faster. He doesn't need to be faster. He has domain expansion. That's his entire thing. All right. So yeah, Megumi didn't get faster. And then on top of that, the nail in the coffin is the fact that Megumi still has to work up to Yuji. This was the translation I was talking about, right? And the reason why I didn't want to bring up this translation was because I was like, it's not iffy, right? This is a correct translation. I know it is. But it was because I forgot that, wait, I'm allowing you guys to say this like fighting style stuff for no reason, right? So look, like I said, like I've been saying, Megumi is saying that he has to match pace with Yuji because Yuji is more of a physical fighter than him, right? It's just a fact, right? Megumi is not Yuji's level of speed. And the counter to this is people saying that, oh, he's talking about fighting style. And then I allow you guys to say that, but I just realized this morning, I was like, wait, why am I allowing you guys to say this? There is no proof of this. Because it's not like Megumi actually, like, first of all, there is no implication of that, right? Again, like, this is the actual translation right here. But also, we've seen a situation where someone's doing, it's literally the exact same thing where they're jumping someone. The character has a weapon in their hand, and the other one is Yuji, and they're pummeling them, and there's no freaking, like, oh, fighting style stuff. There isn't anything like that. In fact, hold on, I was thinking about this morning. Um, what was it actually? Oh, yeah, what I was saying, yeah, in fact, actually, yeah. In fact, we've seen people jump people, and in every single situation, the thing that actually matters is speed. Every single time. Literally every single time. We have Yuji and Nanami jumping Mahito, right? That's the thing I was talking about, by the way. Nanami has basically the exact same fighting style as Megumi, and he doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, our fighting styles are different, right? Which is just some cope that someone made up, right? Just not the case. Then we have Megumi and Yuji, where Megumi literally says, oh yeah, I have to match pace with Yuji, right? We have Todo and Yuji back in Goodwill, where Yuji and Todo, they're like, oh yeah, we have to sync up better, right? We have Maki and Yuji jumping Sukuna, where Maki's like, okay, I'm gonna speed up. Can you keep up? Right? And then there's other things as well. But in literally every single one that I mentioned, there's speed. No, not every single one, but the three of them that I mentioned, Todo and Yuji versus Hanami, Megumi and Yuji versus Awasaka, and Maki and Yuji versus Sukuna, speed is the thing that's emphasized. It's not fighting style. Fighting style is just like, that's literal cope. Someone made that up. And I think I blame it on the translation because it gives people room to cope like that. But this is the actual translation. And it makes more sense in context. Because every other time that someone is getting jumped, it's not the fighting style that's the freaking difference. It's the speed. You cannot jump someone if you don't have the same speed as them. or relative speed at all. And Megumi has to work up towards Yuji. And it makes sense in context, because again, like, I don't know why I have to explain this. Megumi is not a physical fighter. He's not fast. He's not. Megumi is not fast. And that's okay, because he has a domain expansion. He has a curse technique. Yuji needs to be fast because he has nothing else. That's what I said before. I don't know why this is so, like, ridiculous to say. So that has to do with, like, the different fighting styles to cope, which is just, like, not true. Nanami doesn't mention it, right? Megumi doesn't mention it, bro, but people said it because it just fits their agenda better. There's probably other examples that I just can't think of on top of my head right now, but yeah, like, I mean, heck, you could say, like, Yuji and Maki have different fighting styles because they didn't train the same way, right? Like, one of them could be going for, like one of them could be going for, I can't really name, like, freaking martial arts names, right? But again, this fighting style thing is like, for you to go with, like, this fighting style cope, you would have to say, like, this is the only time in all of the series that someone mentions fighting style when it comes to jumping someone, as opposed to every other time it being speed. It's just like the Kashima RCT thing, where everyone has a statement of having RCT, but only Kashima doesn't have a statement of RCT, and people just, they jump through hoops to prove that he has it, even though it doesn't fit the story, right? You're gonna have to show me another example. You're gonna have to show me another example, or this being consistent in the story, that is fighting styles that separate Yuji and Megumi, and it's not speed, right? Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that we have two translations. We have one translation that doesn't say fighting style, by the way. It literally doesn't even say that. One translation that doesn't say fighting styles, but another translation that says speed. One of them doesn't say fighting styles, but you guys take it and run it with it and say fighting styles. Another one that says speed and is consistent throughout the series. My thing is more accurate. It is. Objectively, I guess I could say objectively, because again, yeah, it is. Like, speed is the thing that matters when you're jumping someone. It's over. No more fighting style code, okay? Megumi is slower than Yuji. Okay? And then the final thing I wanted to talk about was Todo being surpassed, right? So in the video, the guy said that Todo got surpassed by Goodwill Yuji, which is ridiculous, obviously. And his proof of that was this, right? Where Toto's like, oh, even this cursed spirit uses Black Flash. The one who is left now being left behind is me. You've gotten strong, brother. Are you just gonna sit still? Are you gonna let your brother feel alone again? Aoi Todo. And then he uses a Black Flash, right? In the video, I said that this is in reference to a Black Flash, right? Which it is, because, like, he literally says the cursed spirit uses Black Flash as well. I'm the one being left behind, right? But then he emphasizes this, where it's like, you've gotten strong, brother. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I said it in the video as well. He just completely ignored it and just repeated what he said. This Yuji is not Goodwill Yuji. This is Demon God Yuji. Not even. This is even Demon God Yuji. Bro, this is an even stronger Yuji, I'm pretty sure. Bro, this is a Yuji after Sakuta took over his body and he hit us. Bro, it's ridiculous that I have to say this. This Yuji that Todo sees here is a Yuji after Sakuta took over his body, so that Yuji got a buff, but also he used a Black Flash and is performing at 120% of his potential. This is not Goodwill Yuji. I don't know why I have to explain that. It sounds kind of like redundant. I don't know how I have to explain that. This is not Goodwill Yuji. Why would it be? And I said that in the previous video. So why is this guy saying this in my comment multiple times? He's obviously a total hater. It makes absolutely no sense. So not only is this example talking, not only is this talking about freaking Black Flashes, but also, even if it was talking about strength, We already know this version of Yuji is stronger than Todo, bro. He literally, bro, this version of Yuji is literally faster than Todo. He has a feat in the series where where they literally say he's faster. We know that. I literally said that in the video. Why is he talking about Goodwill Yuji? This isn't Goodwill Yuji. Goodwill Yuji did not surpass Todo. Demon God Yuji surpassed Todo. By the way, what I mean by Demon God Yuji is this. What I mean by Demon God Yuji is this, because the thing that separates this Yuji from the version of Yuji that Choso fought was the Sukuna buff. Right? So this is Demon God Yuji right here, because he has the Sukuna buff, and he's performing at 120% of his potential. Like, there's nothing else I have to say here, bro. Like, Todo did not get surpassed by Goodwill Yuji. We don't even say we gotta stop that. No one has ever said this before this guy, bro. It's literally only this guy. I've never seen anyone say that before. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. All right. So at the end of the day, what do we establish? Okay, Awasaka's fighting style. We already established that Megumi doesn't react better than Yuji. Right. The only time he reacts is actually after he figures out his fighting style, and Awasaka acknowledges it. Megumi didn't get faster after this domain, which we know because, like, that's not. First of all, that wasn't the point. Second of all, he doesn't show any proof of that. Third of all, there's no implications, no statements, nothing of that. Oh yeah, by the way, did I explain why Maki is faster than Megumi? Let me put that as well. Maki is faster than Megumi because the benchmark for the benchmark for Yuji speed in Hanami's mind is Maki. Because Maki shows better feats than, not even shows. Like, it doesn't really matter. He's fast, more agile than the girl. Because the girl is the benchmark. She's faster than Megumi. Like, we know that. Alright? So Megumi is slower than Maki, but they're in the same league. Right? So, they're in the same league. And then Yuji's faster than Maki. Megumi has to work up to Yuji. Again, like, you literally cannot argue against me. Because the fighting style thing is something not supported by the text, it's not consistent in the story, and it's not even stated. It's not stated in the translation that you guys use, right? And in my translation, it's stated, speed is stated, it's consistent in the story, and it makes sense because Megumi is not as fast as Yuji, and he did not get faster after domain, right? So you guys are gonna have to show me something that debunks that. That's literally like, that's checkmate right there. Like, literally, you can't say anything about that. Megumi is slower than Yuji. Different fighting styles, yeah, this has to do with this. In Todo being surpassed, literally, like, I don't think I've seen, like, this is worse than all the Kashimo stuff that I've heard, bro. This is genuinely worse. Like, saying that Todo got surpassed by Goodwill Yuji because he looks at Demon God Yuji and says that he's gotten strong. Like, I've never heard anything more ridiculous than that. That's genuinely ridiculous. So, yeah. Yeah. That's it, bro. That's really it. I don't think, like, I'm trying to use future sight to figure out what he's going to say towards this, but, like, I think it's just gonna be a whole bunch of Awasaka, like, cope. It's literally because everything else is gone. Literally everything else is gone. There's no implication that he got stronger or not got faster after his domain. Everything is gone. He's just gonna continue harping on the Awasaka thing, which is just, like, at that point, you've lost. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You did. All right. Throughout my entire videos, I've explained the consistency of the certain feats throughout the story, and I've gotten zero consistency from this guy, bro. Literally nothing. It's just lie after lie. The total thing, a big fat lie. All right. The Awasaka thing, him having better reactions than Yuji, a big fat lie. Um, Megumi having a different fighting style than Yuji and it not being speed, a big fat lie. Like Yuji not being faster than Maki, that was a lie, and he actually owned up to that. He was like, okay, Yuji is faster than Maki. I respect him for that. So yeah, it's all gone. Okay, what I'm saying is consistent in the story. I really, again, like I just I'm shook that I have to explain this, but I guess I do, right? Megumi is not as fast as Yuji or Maki, bro, and that's the point. He gets through the physical barrier by having a domain expansion, by having a curse technique. Maki and Yuji don't have curse techniques. They have physicals. That's what makes them so strong. Todo got surpassed by Kubo Yuji. Like that, bro, bro, what kind of agenda is that? I've never heard someone say that before. Literally, bro. It's like it's one of those things where it just comes out of nowhere. Like how can you read the story and then just like go with that? It just makes no sense. Gege would laugh. But yeah, I'm just at this point it should just be over. It should be over. The Awasaka stuff is over, bro. It's so weak because sorry, I have to like really put this into perspective. The Awasaka stuff is so weak because even if like not even if because like again, he doesn't have better reaction feats than Yuji. He gets hit by Awasaka the same way that Yuji does off screen. We don't see it, but it happens off screen objectively. And then we know he literally states that he has to match pace with Yuji because Yuji is faster than him. All right? So like it's like there is no granting. He doesn't have better reaction feats than him, and Megumi says that he's slower than Yuji. So it's like it's over. It's literally over. He can't even harp on the Awasaka thing. At that point, it's just over. Let me see if I really went over everything. Like you're saying, Megumi is slower than Maki. He didn't show how he got stronger after his domain. He just didn't. He didn't, right? Um, and yeah, he didn't show any examples of him being faster than Yuji because of the Awasaka thing, mentality thing. Like, please prove that improved his speed. You really can't. Showed by feats, Megumi is faster than Yuji. Megumi says he's not faster than Yuji. Megumi says that he has to work up to Yuji, and Megumi doesn't have actual reaction feats. The only reaction feat he has is after he gets his fighting style down, and Awasaka says it. That only works because he said he never got faster, which he did not. He did not get faster. He is referring to Black Flash amps. He says that Mahito got a Black Flash. Before that, he remembers Goodwill. When does Todo remember Goodwill? He never does. He does not remember Goodwill. He agrees that Yuji is faster than Maki. He agrees that Megumi is on the same tier as Maki and Goodwill. After getting his domain, he does not get faster. Not true. And yeah, like I've gone through everything. I think. I think I've gone through everything. We have 0 statements or implications of Maki being superior to Megumi in speed. Do I have it open? There's the implication right there. Maki is the benchmark to compare Yuji to and not Megumi. Or she could have been like, oh, he's fast, more agile than the other two, right? That would have helped you, but no, it's just agile than the girl because the girl is faster than Megumi. So that's not true. What we see is that they're relative at least, and also Megumi got stronger. There's no proof he didn't get faster since Goodwill. Again, that's like, you're the one who said it though. You're the one who said that Megumi got stronger. Prove that he got stronger. Entire premise is because they are physical fighters. Yeah. Megumi has a domain expansion, he has a curse technique, he has all of this stuff. And the only reason why Yuji and Maki could be relative to Megumi is because they have physicals over him. I think that's pretty simple. Actually, let me explain this better. If Megumi had superior physicals to Yuji on top of having a cursing technique, Yuji cannot keep up at all. It's like, that's objective. Like, bro, he cannot do anything about it. Like, Yuji is like, if okay, yeah, like, I don't have to explain beyond that. If Megumi has superior physicals to Yuji, with which Yuji only has, and then on top of that, Megumi has a domain expansion and a curse technique and all of this stuff, Megumi is like a tier above him. He just is. But that's not the case, because Yuji and Maki are superior to Megumi in physicals. They are. And that's what gives Yuji the edge on Megumi, and that's why he has to get a domain expansion to get through the fact that he has a physical barrier. Bro, he literally is stated to have a weak body by Todo. Right? This has literally nothing against Megumi just being equal or faster. Again, like, yeah, it's just not true. He isn't as agile as them. He isn't as strong as them physically. He just compensates for that via speed. No, he compensates for their physical prowess over him through his curse technique. I can just debunk this via Heaton's Razor because he has no proof behind just vibes that they're faster. No, Maki is faster because she's the benchmark to compare Yuji to. Megumi can compensate via his CE. No, he compensates via his curse technique. What's so confusing? That's the entire point. I showed it with the fight against the finger bearer, bro. He does not get through the finger bearer by getting faster. He gets through the finger bearer by using his curse technique and overwhelming him. He compensates with his curse technique, not CE. Yuta has weak base physicals, but just gets amped by CE. And that's why Yuta is stronger than Yuji. He has a curse technique, he has Rika, and he has relative physicals to Yuji. That's why he's stronger than him. Megumi is relative to Yuji because he is not stronger or even relative to Yuji in physicals, but he compensates for that with his curse technique. The total point will like just like we're completely ignoring like the total point, like just ridiculous agenda. And the Awasaka stuff, yeah, whatever. Okay.